The Last Samurai, 2003 film, historical drama starring Tom Cruise, Ken Watanabe, Hiroyuki Sanada, and Timothy Spall. It's partly based on real events from history, of course, dramatizing them to quite an extent, but remaining fairly accurate in the grand scheme of things. It also bears strong resemblance to James Clavell's novel Shogun, which I adore with all my heart. And then to classic stories as well, of a stranger in a strange land, like Pocahontas, Dances with Wolves, Avatar, and many, many more. Tom Cruise plays an American, Captain Algren, that in the late 19th century is he's got experience, okay, taming the Native American tribes. In other words, murdering them mercilessly to exploit their lands. He is sent to Japan to train an army, an imperial army there, in the modern ways of combat and in the use of firearms, so that they can crush the rebellion of a traditionalist daimyo named Katsumoto. Initially, things go well, but then Algren is captured by the samurai, and instead of killing him, the daimyo decides to take care of him and let him experience the culture, in the process also learning from the American. And you can kind of guess where things go from there. Once Algren understands the Japanese traditionalists, he sides with them and goes to war against the imperial forces. So, as much as the story is classic and follows familiar tropes, I think it's executed very well. Tom Cruise is charismatic enough in the role, and Ken Watanabe has a certain magnetic quality to him whenever he's on screen, which makes their pairing very watchable. It's also a beautiful venture into the Japanese culture. The clothes, the buildings, society structures, fighting techniques, bushido, all of that stuff is inherently fascinating to me and explored here with a lot of respect and accuracy. I liked the fact that there's a lot of good Japanese spoken, and I also liked how the story isn't just a simple good guys versus bad guys, but there is that additional layer of tradition versus modernity and having to come to grips with the fact that the old ways cannot hold forever, that eventually they have to die off. And as sad, as unfair as it may seem, that's, it happens. So it is very much about mortality and acceptance of passing, of transience, not just of oneself, but one's entire way of being. And in this sense, the title refers not to Tom Cruise, as some have mistakenly thought at the time of the film's release, but rather to the clan of samurai in plural, the people following Katsumoto, including himself as well. The locations are beautiful, the music from Hans Zimmer very good. The one thing I'd nitpick is the ending, which I thought was just a little bit too pretty. It's like a Hollywood-style ending. I would have loved it to be more toned down, realistic, even if that would mean it's slightly more depressing. But even with that, I think The Last Samurai is still a very good movie that hasn't aged all that much in the 20 years since its release, and I still recommend checking it out.